Hello class, thank you for coming to my week 7 MPA 545 discussion board where we will be discussing conflict management and training. The first article that I read was the difference of conflict management styles and conflict resolution in workplace. This journal article defined conflict as occurring when two or more people have issues with miscommunication, misinterpretation of words, and values. It states that there are two types of conflicts. The first is task conflict, which concentrates on how to resolve problems caused by differences in viewpoints, ideas, and opinions. And the second is relationship conflict, which are disagreements about values, personal values, and family norms. Um, this journal article elaborates that conflict can be left up to the supervisor, managers, leaders, and employees to learn how to actively diffuse, and as well as the different types of conflict management styles. The conflict management styles presented were passive aggressive, forcing style, avoiding style, accommodating style, compromising style, and collaborating style. This article further provided different procedures that must be in place in order to resolve conflict. This included developing ground rules, checking the facts and clarifying perceptions, focusing on individual and shared needs, as well as a wide list of other ground rules for resolution. It's a very interesting article. I highly recommend you read it. A second journal article that I read was called Designing an Effective Dispute Resolution System. Um, this article provided guidelines and principles for creating a dispute resolution design that is effective in the workplace. A few of these principles included put the focus on interest, create a way to loop back to negotiation when conflict arises, providing low cost procedures, providing methods for consultation and feedback, um, arranging procedures in a low to high cost sequence, and providing proper motivation, skills, and resources. The article states that when these methods are incorporated into the design, the method could be continually used not just for one conflict, but for an ongoing series of disputes that occur in any organization or relationship. In regards to dispute resolution training, I saw a video on YouTube named Conflict Resolution Training for Employees for SafetyVideos.com. The channel was SafetyVideos.com. It asked initially what causes conflict, and this can be conflicting goals, procedural conflicts, and miscommunication. It further outlined that there are responses to conflict that just make conflict worse, and these include competing style, yielding style, and avoiding style. These are the natural inclinations of humans in response to conflict. However, these responses can make conflict worse. It argued instead for collaboration and compromise, getting to understand the opposing viewpoints, as well as staying calm when conflict arises. The next book that I read was a book by the name of Extreme Ownership by Leif Babin. It's an interesting book because it was actually written by Navy veterans on the principles of leadership and conflict. It discusses how leaders are responsible for their command at all times and through all conflict. And when there is command, the best ways to come to resolution the principles are needed are to break down mission goals into understandable tasks, collaboration amongst the unit, having a disciplined environment where staff knows the rules and regulations, checking ego, making sure that the staff and leadership don't have an ego going into the conflict, motivating and believing in the mission, providing training for conflict resolution, and leading by example. It's an interesting book because it applies all these military ideals and gives real world civilian use examples. A conflict which I have witnessed firsthand was when employees would be promoted over other employees that had more seniority. oftentimes leading to claims of discrimination and inequity. This would best be solved by a first level intervention through informal discussion or facilitated discussion between the employees who were upset and management staff that decided to promote other employees instead of them. The best training course of action would be to um, identify the purpose of the training and educate employees about the decision-making process within the organization and to expand their perspectives. Methods that could be incorporated would be group discussion with management in order to properly educate the employees as to why those decisions were made, as well as quarterly evaluations to assist those employees with their career goals. Something that was also implemented is a leadership program that could help train those employees that want to promote and gain those characteristics that will make them more marketable for promotions within the organization or other organizations. Thank you. Have a great week.